if I thought he was going to have legs, because, you know, there's a confusion there with Jilted John. But I did John Shuttleworth as a spoof tape for a friend in the music business one night. And at that point, John even played the guitar. You know, he wasn't. And then it was when I went out with a girl whose dad had a keyboard that was like John Shuttleworth's. It was very funny watching him play it. That's when I got the idea for the keyboard. So things in life influenced me with those characters. Jilted John was originally called John Thomas, and then but then I was picking up on, there's quite a lot of records by people like Bob Reckless-Harry. There's someone called Hapless Hugh. Remember seeing that name? Anyone remember Hapless Hugh? No.
This is getting really obscure.
But who else is there? There's a few other.
Well, there's quite a lot of interesting kind of eccentrics in that kind of period, weren't there? Like Stiff Records had quite a lot. But again, like going back to Manchester, there's quite a lot in Manchester. You know, like you were saying before, John Cooper Clarke, and then eventually Frank Sidebottom. And it seems to be like something very kind of Manchester. These kind of people about 5-6 years older who never seem to fit in anywhere, but did these kind of amazing.
Well,
things.
Frank Sidebottom is I knew very well. Chris Seavey, the songwriter, who was signed to Raz Records, which was the Rabid Records evolved into Raz Records. And Tosh basically put all the money from my hit, because ours was the only big hit that really for Rabid, put it into Chris Seavey's songwriting career, which then didn't happen, but then he, through sheer frustration, put on a papier-mâché head and created Frank Sidebottom. So I feel I've had a hand in Frank Sidebottom's evolution, so I don't feel too bad in adopting a name that is slightly similar to John Shuttleworth.
Yeah.
That was subliminal, by the way. I didn't, I knew he was doing that, but I kind of wasn't trying to copy him. But it's funny how things are reciprocated in any art form, isn't it? You sort of nick things, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously.
There's this interesting thing with John Shuttleworth, because you were playing the part of a far older person when you were younger, and now you've gone back to Jilted John and you're playing the part of a far younger person, now you're older. I mean, is this another kind of underlying concept, or is it just the way it just sort of happens?
No, I think, I'm glad you noticed that, because I've noticed it, that it's very ironic that I'm now here in my late 50s about to sort of play an 18-year-old, though I'm not going to embarrass myself to imitate an 18-year-old. I'm going to it's Jilted John as now. It's more about the songs, really. That's and the music. But yeah, I have now caught up John Shuttleworth, because when I started, I've been doing John Shuttleworth for actually over 30 years. I was 25 when I did the first tape, and I had him as 46, 47. Now he's about 58, 59. So in 30 years he's aged 12 years. And I have slight problems. He's got 2 teenage kids.
Yeah.
They're still in the teens. So everything's gone really strange. He's got a West Highland Terrier that must be 40.
But does it have to be that accurate?
Sorry? Still got the Austin Ambassador, yeah. But would he really? I mean, that's getting on a bit, isn't it?
We speak about that. I mean, with Jilted John, I mean, obviously, he's doing his gig tonight, but can you update that character, or is he a character frozen in time? Is he an 18-year-old from the late 70s? You can revisit it now and then as a little picture of that period, or is it something you can actually bring all the way up to date?
I don't know. I don't think we've evolved it too much. I think you'll agree from what you see tonight. But it's more about the music. It's playing. We did a tryout gig in Brixton, and it seemed to, people afterwards said, you just put a smile on my face, you brought back the memories from that time. And I think in a way, that's one of the things that Rebellion's great at doing, isn't it? It's sort of people are trying to tap into something either from their own youth or something that they perhaps just missed and want a part of. But that's a good question. I mean, if we're all having such a good time doing this, and if it goes well and we're enjoying it and people want to see it, then we might do some more and evolve it.
So you could actually write new songs?
I think so, yeah. I think we might have to.
Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of interesting to know which period it would be,
Yeah, I'm not really interested in sort of dressing down and playing an 18-year-old kid. No, it would be more... I always remember watching Chris Difford from Squeeze a couple of years ago. He played a charity gig I was doing, and I asked him to play Up the Junction, which he doesn't even sing. You know, Glenn Tilbrook sings it, but it's one of my favourite songs. It's the song I always wish I'd written. Though I have to say I rhymed Smelly and Telly before they did. It goes steady. And I pointed that out to him, and he conceded it.
Did he steal it off you?
Well, it was sitting there, wasn't it? Smelly and Telly. No one did it until I did it. And then he did it the year later with Up the Junction. Anyway, he just sang it on an acoustic guitar, and he's not a great guitarist by his own admission. And he's not a great singer. But when you've got a good song, it's like...
Had his own magic.
It just takes you away, doesn't it? It's like... That's why people can sit pissed singing songs and everyone gets moved, because it's about the song.
Which you have like one Master Hit Records, which is kind of goes on and on, doesn't it? Even like 30 years later, you still hear it. I mean, I remember when it came out, it took a long time to become a hit, didn't it? I remember at the time at school, the record was around, you hear it. It's a very culty record. And then suddenly, a few months later, it's like number 5 in the charts.
Number 4.
Number 4? Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it must be like quite a surprise for something like that to take off, especially when this is like it's an act, isn't it? It's not like a band. It's not like you're striving to have a massive success. You're just making a brilliant record, but it's slightly detached, you know, and suddenly it's a hit. I mean, what was that like for that to happen?
Well, you know, it's to some extent. I think that's why I'm amazed I'm here, because it's like, you know, Jilted John isn't like really the genuine article. Let's be honest, he's a Ponzi drama student who decided to do a punk pastiche, and then it ends up being one of the biggest punk records of all time. But in a way, that is the whole point of punk, isn't it? It's like anything goes. It's sort of, because I couldn't even play the guitar at all, and I've learned, but the musical structure of that song comes through musical ignorance, not being able to play the guitar. So it is punk in a way. But it was great. It was great fun. But at the end, I was a bit depressed because, as I said, I went back to drama college, and I probably thought that, you know, I should have another hit, even though I kind of knew that it wasn't going to happen then. And that's why it's interesting that all these years have passed, and now it feels like it's because it's so silly, the idea of a man in his 50s singing these songs. There's no pressure. I don't feel there's a pressure. I might feel that tonight, but, you know, I just got to enjoy it. Whereas if I was 20 trying to recycle Jilted John at 20, I would have felt, oh no, I shouldn't, you know, I should be doing something else, because that was just a punk, you know, parody.
In a way, it was such a perfect moment. You can't repeat those, can you? And also, it's quite just about it, even though it is a pastiche, it is also a perfect punk rock record.
Yeah, I shouldn't call it a pastiche, because it started as a pastiche and it became something better. So I'm doing myself down there. It's I think it's from that summer of '78. It's a moment, isn't it, which it resounds with a lot of people. So
yeah, well, I mean,
that's what it is.
However it came together, it ends up being a really exciting record. You hear it now, and it does sound like a great kind of punk rock record. And also lyrically, because it's one of those great kind of British kind of scruffy lyric records, you know. It's about real life, which is what British records, there's so many great, from the Kings onwards, that's a great British tradition in it, sing songs about fish and chips, or your girlfriend walking out on you. And it's, I mean, was that kind of music you like? Are you into that kind of... My music tastes are embarrassing, really. There's no guilty pleasures.
The first record I bought was the Congregation, Softly Whispering I Love You, which actually is a brilliant song, but I remember I had a Radio 1 show when I heard John Triplett played it, and he sort of went, no, this isn't Radio 1, this is a Radio 2 record. But I used to like Tavares, and I would like, ABBA, Wings, but I'd also like Yes and Lindisfarne.
Yeah.
I just like Father Abraham, anything, you know. If it's got a good tune, I like it. Do you throw it out at all? Do you ask people for questions, or do you not do that yet?
Well, you see, there is no rules.
No.
So if people want to ask a question...
No rules because it's punk. No, I just thought that guy sort of said so. I just wondered if you...
It's the first time that's happened, and it's actually quite good, really. I mean, if somebody wants that, the trouble is, it's such a big theatre, it's going to be hard to hear what the question is. But we could try, if somebody wants a question, if they could shout it out.
You could try it. If after 10 seconds no one says anything, we just carry on. Does anyone ask anything?
What did you still see Julie?
Oh, that's one of them stupid questions.
Yeah, well, you asked for it.
I did. Right. Julie. You see, it's interesting. Why do you choose certain names? I chose Gordon because it rhymed vaguely with moron.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's no deeper than that. And do you know, I'm not answering your question, but it's made me think of something else. I'll come back to that. But it's like the number of Gordons I've met, you'd think would want to punch me in the face.
Yeah.
Because they've said, you made my life a misery. But they're smiling at while they say it, so I feel very grateful that
But what about Gordon himself?
You mean Bernard?
Yeah.
Well, Bernard Kelly was my good friend in Manchester, and unfortunately that's what hit records do. They stop people being friends, so, you know, it happens all the time. We fell out because it just, you know, he went one way and I went the other. Otherwise he would be here today, sadly. But
was that because he ended up being known as a moron?
I think he felt that I felt he really was a moron. When I was saying Gordon was a moron, I was talking to him, but that's his problem, because he's not a moron, he's a very intelligent man who introduced me to Bob Dylan.
He played on this stage. Yeah.
That's it.
2 years ago. So
but hang on, Julie, that was my childhood sweetheart, was called Julie.
Ah, so real life was creeping in.
So, and again, it's one of those names that fits quite well in the song, isn't it?
Does she know that she's in the song?
No. No.
So there's no awkwardness there yet.
Well, she might do, but...
Yeah.
Have you got any better questions?
To update Jilted John, I'm just thinking, you know...
Hang on, sorry, what date's Jilted John?
No, to update him to modern time, I mean, he could still be jilted going through his second divorce or something like that.
But you're right, and
I think it would work as a great concept, this
I think you're
60-year-old.
right. Yeah. But I'm not going to do it in time for tonight, but I'll definitely...
You don't all afternoon.
Do you think that would work now?
Yes, I think it would work. Do you think it would work?
Yes.
Not dating,
See, maybe.
It's kind of slightly, still Jilted John. Yeah. It's still not working out for him.
But then how is he singing about, he's just said the song about Julian Gordon, that's from his youth. And then there's a whole, so there are lots from his youth, and then
It could be
so the new ones could be...
It could be another wife. It could be his wife who just left him.
Sorry, mate?
Yeah, his wife left him for his latest best friend, ex-best friend. It's parallel to his...
He starts becoming friends with
So
Gordon again.
it's the same stuff, it's just people are older.
Just older, yeah. Wait a minute, how long we got? We can actually thrash out the next album now.
Yeah. Well, if you can I just do a little advert? I'm doing a show here tomorrow, as myself with a guitar, and I'm going to be playing a Jilted John song that I discovered on a cassette tape about 3 months ago, because someone said I want to put out a new CD of all your old Jilted John demos and rehearsals and stuff. So it's out. It's called Jilted Jam, and it's for sale outside, what's it, the Pavilion?
Yeah, it's outside there, yeah.
A guy with blue hair selling some Jilted John badges and CDs.
So what is a demo?
But there's a song on there that ends halfway through because they're taped over it.
Yeah.
But I've rewritten it, I've written the end, and I'm going to finish it off and play it tomorrow in my Graham Fellows set. And there'll also be a John Shuttleworth song that people might know is called You're Like Manchester. But I wrote that for me, and then it was a Graham Fellows song, and then I gave it to John Shuttleworth. And that's something that happens, you know.
Is this quite schizophrenic, all this?
Well, it could be, but I was just trying to think, John Shuttleworth's doing the gigs and getting the punters in. It's a good song, let him sing it.
I mean, is this a bit like what Mike Yard used to put the telly, and you just get to the end and you go,
and
it's me.
I hope. But yeah, there's always that danger, isn't there?
Yeah, especially got really strongly known characters.
Yeah, but in a way, doing Jilted John is actually helping me to sort of not shrug off John Shuttleworth, but just, if I could just park up John Shuttleworth for a little bit and do Jilted John, and then that might allow me to do something else, for a bit.
Will the two characters ever meet each other in some kind of weird way? I mean, obviously, physically it'd be difficult.
No, it wouldn't. Played by the same person. Split screen.
Because in one half, the other half, yeah.
I think it would be very easy for them to meet.
Yeah. There you go, there's another route.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what time are you on tonight?
7:10.
7:10 in the Empress.
In the Empress, yeah.
Okay, so we've run out of time. So 7:10 in the Empress Ballroom, Graham Fellows, aka Jilted John.